Because this is such a small format, only 5 inches by 5 inches, I was able to paint directly on dry paper. I started with an ultramarine blue color, and then I've incorporated one of my favorite mixtures, which is burnt umber and violet. Once the water and the sand were dry, I was able to go in and add a little bit of color to the birds. Now, notice that the outside of the bird, as well as the sea foam, it has been masked with masking fluid, and that just allows me to preserve all of the whites of the paper and paint freely over top. And once the painting's done, you'll see me remove this masking fluid. So here I'm just adding some light shadows, the birds, the seascape, everything is very muted and calm colors are being used, and so my approach has to be very light and delicate as well. Now I am using my number 10 designer blend hybrid brush. It's a blend of Kolinsky sable and synthetic nylon hair, so it's a really beautiful brush that comes back to a really nice point and holds a lot of water. So even though I'm doing this itty bitty detail, I'm able to still retain the point of the brush very readily, and the belly of the brush stays loaded with paint, so it's just a beautiful tool to be using on such a scale. So here I'm just going back and adding a little bit more detail, bringing the birds to life by animating their faces. I'm still using that burnt umber and violet combination, and I still have the masking fluid on the outsides of the birds just to protect their kind of backlit halo. I keep dabbing with tissue just to lighten anything that I feel is too strong. It also helps to speed up the drying time, and this allows me to proceed more quickly through the painting process. Once I have the birds painted in, I decided that I actually wanted to make the sand a little bit darker, so I went in with that burnt umber and violet and just added a bit more texture and color to the sand. I waited for everything to absolutely dry, and here I am now removing the masking fluid. I'm just using a rubber cement pickup, and it's a nice sticky square that allows the masking fluid debris to stick to it, and I can remove it quite easily this way. Now I'm going back on a dry surface, and I'm adding some shadow underneath the seafoam just to really make it pop. I'm also glazing and tinting the whites where I feel they might be a little too strong and that they might be popping up a little too much. The same treatment is being used for the birds. I'm going in and helping to integrate some of the masked whites where I felt that they were a little bit harsh. And I just continue in this way, working on little bits and pieces that I feel could be enhanced. And again, just blotting with tissue where I want to lift up some of the color quickly and dry up some of the surface. And this just allows me to stay in control of the value range on these delicate and white little birds. Moving in a little closer, I finally add the tiniest little eyeballs to the bird. Prior to this, any markings on the face were simply that, just markings and patterns and color. But now I'm actually trying to get in there and enhance their eye sockets and finish the finer details that will help to make them look a little bit more three-dimensional. Using my fine brush, I've just added those last little bits of contrast out of my favorite gray mixture, which is ultramarine and burnt umber. You can check out all of my videos, one of which is how to create dynamic grays in watercolor. Now this is the fun part. I get to remove all of the masking tape, which has been holding my paper down, and I get a nice clean border. Of course, you only do this when it's 100% dry, and always pull outward from the painting. Here's my little 5x5 watercolor. Thanks for watching, everyone.